Yes, people, welcome back to AlbertJTV meets Hollie's Hotspurs. Hashtag show 5. We even got show 6 coming up at some time in the next few days, but we didn't think we was gonna get there. But England 2, Slovakia 1. Let me repeat that again. England 2, Slovakia 1. Unbelievable. Who said football's dead? But before we get into the intro, people, actually, let's hit the intro. Actually, wouldn't that help in it, Hollie? Let's hit it anyway. Good evening. Happy Monday evening to people out there on the Hollie Hotspurs and AlbertJTV. Bust up the like button if you haven't already. Smash it, poke it, touch it. Just make sure you hit it somehow. But get them algorithms through the roof and subscribe to AlbertJTV and Hollie's Hotspurs. First, let me apologize. Mr. Judges couldn't make it. He did let me know this morning. He triple booked, quadruple booked, double booked himself. Whatever he did, he apologized profusely. He smiled and I said, all right, I'll let you off this time. But we've got stellar guests coming up. Before we get into it, Hollie, the day after yesterday, I don't even know what to say to you, to be honest with you. I messaged you and a few other people and I said, please just have the ambulance on side because I can't take this anymore, watching this England national team. How are you feeling today now, 24 hours on?
I don't think I've recovered yet, to say the least. I know we'll get into it, but it was an absolute madness. I mean, it was a whirlwind of emotions from start to finish, to be quite frank. But I'm glad we're here tonight to dissect it. We've had a little bit of time to chill out as well.
Well, speak for yourself, to be honest, after that 120 minutes. But last not least, like I said, people, we have a special guest. Thanks for him, couldn't join us at very short notice, but I'm glad to get him on. LL Cool James, the main man from Essex. Bring him in.
Boom.
Yes. Go on, James.
Good evening.
How we doing? James, after yesterday, late afternoon, straight evening, I think I'm doing all right. To be honest with you, yeah. That was a tough watch. It's a tough watch. But people, follow James. His Twitter handles in the box as he speak, and it's going on the bottom of the screen. And he also has a channel, so check him out, people. Check him out. How do I start this? It's a very bite-sized match review, which you will also hear on the audio as well. I've watched England a long time. When it comes to James, and I've seen some pain. I've watched some difficult matches. With England, it hasn't got better this tournament. I still don't know how they got through. What did you make of the fact that? And I wasn't surprised with this. Gareth doesn't make too many brave decisions in terms of team selection, but Kobe Mainoo comes in. What was your sort of immediate thoughts about the lineup and England taking on Slovakia?
Yeah, I know all week that obviously there was massive debates about, is certain players going to play in certain places? Is he going to make loads of changes? He never has. So I thought to myself, if he's going to do anything, it's probably going to be maybe 1/2, and it was 1. And to be fair, I thought that Mainoo played very well. Especially that first half. Again, you know me, Albert, even if they are Arsenal players, I am not adverse to calling anybody or anyone out. And at the end of that first half, for me, I thought that Mainoo and Saka were the only two that could go in at half time, look at everybody else and go, well, what have you done? Because us two are trying. So what are the rest of you played at? And again, it says everything to me as well when they're arguably two of the youngest as well. So I just collectively, like you said, I don't know where it come from. I'm happy it come from somewhere, but at the same point, oh my goodness, was it tough? I mean, I have never seen Trippier and Kyle Walker look so bad in my life, ever. They look like Sunday league players. Ironically, we played on a Sunday, but they did. They looked like really bad Sunday League players, and I was shocked. I really was. I mean, I thought they're going to definitely have a go, because if you've watched England through that group and don't think we can have a go, then you're even worse than what I thought England were. So you're definitely, Switzerland at the weekend are definitely going to be licking their lips thinking we can get something out of this. But you'll touch on that later on. But yeah,
100%. No, James, great. Listen, I just want to get your Essex dulcet tones, man, on, man. Straight to the point. Hollie, I saw a tweet from, and I'll come back to James to get his opinion as well. From Ollie Holt, who I think is it the Mail? Is it? I think he is. Chief. Someone told me, but yeah, I think he chief sports. I think it's the Mail. I'm sure it is. And he put out a tweet when we found out England were going to play Slovakia, and I'm going to read it to you. He said it was the 26th of June at 22:37 p.m. He said, "We never learn in England, talking about how lucky we are to be on the side of the draw with an Austria team that finished above France, a fine Swiss team, the Italians, etc. Patronizing isn't the half of it." And that kind of leads on to obviously the game. That taking into account that tweet, which I actually agree with a lot of it, if I'm going to be honest with you. Because I saw some of the reaction in terms of when England got through and we got Slovakia and they speak to the fans who were out in Germany before the game. I'm like, you have been watching the first 3 games, right? So what's your thoughts about Oliver Holt's tweet? And as I touched on the lineup and sort of the first 10-15 minutes of the game.
Yeah, I kind of get what you're saying. I think the thing is, I think we were all hoping with these crop of players, it was going to come into effect. Something was going to happen. And I think it is a little bit of arrogance, because you look at the players on the team sheet and you're thinking, wow, we've got all these players, but Southgate can't seem to get a tune out of them. So I do kind of agree with that tweet. I wouldn't even say the first 15 minutes. I'd say the first whole bloody half. I mean, I was losing my head. And then to slightly go off tangent to kind of ask James a question. I know I haven't really answered your question, Albert, but I want to come to James because it kind of leads on to this one. And the fact that we've spoken about, obviously, Southgate not necessarily changing the start of 11, but James, the fact it was so dire for the first half, like you said, only the likes of Saka and say Mainu doing things. What was going through his mind not to make a substitution at half time?
Again, it's that whole. Do you remember, like, before the tournament took place, we had some of the friendlies, and obviously Maguire was in one of the squads, and he wasn't having a good time. It wasn't until after that England game that he won Premier League Player of the Month, and he looked okay again. And I think he picked Henderson. And do you remember, he was like, "Oh, I don't pick the favourites," and it was like, "Well, you clearly do. You clearly do. You pick it. You're not picking players that are performing the best in the league. You're picking the ones that you've had before, and we know that whatever this system is, it doesn't work, but it's his system and it's what he's always done. So he will pick the ones that have been there because it's probably easier to have them that know it to some extent, whatever it is, than to get new people to obviously learn it and try it. But it's like people in the comments are saying here, that's spot on again by AFC always. In 3 minutes, Ivan Toney did more than, I mean, obviously, he got a goal, but he did. And that's it. It is baffling. It's like you've said. You've got the best player in what everyone calls the best league in the world. You've got the best goal scorer in Germany. You've got arguably the greatest young midfielder in Spain, and you cannot get a tune out of any of them. And it's like you said. I was I've got a lot of hair to pull out, and I was pulling it out at the at the first half.
But am I coming in, Hollie? Was you going to say something?
Go for it. I didn't answer your question, so you're far away.
No, I was going to say that, but it's fine. This is a snap. This is a very small.
Answer the question with a question. It's the best thing to do. We got an election next week. That's all they do.
But that's very true. Yeah, I'm very used to having that in my life in terms of the females answer the question with a question. That's fine. But James, coming to you again, mate. I think it was 70%, 77% possession and no shots on target in the first half. And to be honest with you, I know Jude Bellingham said that he thought they started well. I couldn't disagree with him more. I thought the Slovakians started better. They looked more threatening. Their pressing game was very, very good. I mentioned to Hollie on the last stream with Kerry that England with the ball the quality, the lack of quality, sorry, should I say, it's so slow. And even the goal they conceded, James, schoolboy defending, 2 centre-backs going for the same ball, and we're 1-0 down. So what was your thoughts, man? Obviously, the first 15 and obviously the first half.
Yeah, I mean, it's spot on, but again, I hate doing this because obviously you stream it across the 2 channels, so I don't want it to come across with a massive Arsenal sort of bias. But Albert, they're not necessarily how Arsenal are now,
Yeah.
but previously, we've done this for a long time together. We've, even off of doing YouTube and everything, we have conversations and what have you. And there was periods of time, Arsenal years and years ago, where, and Hollie, you saw it when you used to beat Arsenal. You would give Arsenal the ball because you knew they were doing nothing with it, and that's what I felt. Slovakia were like, take it, because we're going to get you on the counter attack and we're going to score, because we were overcommitting like mad. Like there was warning signs within the first 5 minutes,
especially down our right hand side. I couldn't believe it.
Exactly. I was like, right, just calm down. Like, where is? Well, again, obviously Harry Kane's the captain, but you've got other big players in there. Like a Stones. You've got a Walker. You've got a Trippier, senior player. I've seen Trippier captain Newcastle. I've seen Walker with the armband at City. Stones as well. What are they doing? Rice used to be the captain at West Ham. What are those leaders doing? Not turning around and going like, just chill the hell out. Like it just felt to me that it was so cathartic. And then I don't. A lot of people going, oh, that's a sucker punch. That guy. I was like, well, that's been coming for about 5 or 10 minutes.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Yeah. And then, I mean, your comment you made there about Bellingham saying, "Oh, I thought we started well."
No.
Oh, well, maybe he's playing it, so he's got a different view to me that's watching.
Yeah.
But as someone watching it, I didn't think that we started well at all. We were lucky not to be 2-0 down in that first 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It was only they couldn't finish.
Yeah, it's true, man. Like, I thought they started really well, the Slovaks. I think England made it comfortable for them, because I said it to you last time, Hollie, coming to you, like, Rice to Stones to Gay to Walker, back to Rice. You're not penetrating. You need to get the ball to Mainu, because he can get on the half turn quickly and he can progress us further up the pitch. I look at the wide play in this tournament. England are a country mile off. I mean, I look at Spain with Nico Williams and Yamin Lamau, and I'm like, and to be fair, Georgia really played really well. Actually, they did play well. They went 1-0 up. They tried to hit him on the counter, but like I said, I don't think Walker's been great this tournament. I know he's got a lot of experience. I think he's like his 5th, 6th tournament, I think it is. But he was badly getting exposed in that first half. But Hollie, like, sort of coming to you, and hopefully you'll answer this question. If I'll put it in a way to you that you are definitely going to get an answer out of you. England go 1-0 down. What's your thoughts then?
We ain't coming back. I generally thought that. I think just because of the way we started, then because we got to half time and it was like, oh, we haven't really done anything. Now we're going into second half and we're 1-0 down. It's like, well, I don't see us ever coming back from that. And then it moves on to the point that we've had to wait right to the dying moments of the game for a moment of brilliance from Jude Bellingham. And it's things like that. You're thinking, we've got these players that can do this. Okay, I think Jude Bellingham is like a god at the moment. But what I'm saying is we can do it. I just don't know why it's taken so long. And like you said, every time we've got the ball, we don't seem like we're going to do anything with it. It's almost like, right, I know it's going straight back to the goalkeeper, right? I'll look at my watch for another 20 minutes because that's all we're going to do for the next 20 minutes. It's just very frustrating because we talk about it all the time.
Just to come in quickly, because Southgate talks about patience. I'm like, oh my God, this guy, are you making my blood boil? Do you think they were better in the second half in the first 15, 20 minutes? Do you think they were better, England?
It was the same. It was as if half time didn't exist. It was like we were just carrying on in the same pattern of play. And it was only like you've got him on the screen. It was only him that was driving with the ball. And everybody else was like, nope, let's pass it backwards. Let's pass it to the side. And I think it was like how is that only one player driving with the ball when we've got the likes of Gordon and Eze and that on the pitch that can do exactly the same as Mainu? It was honestly baffling, I think. And I think that's the point, coming back to you, Albert, I'm going to Uno reverse it. The fact that we waited obviously so long for that moment of madness. But it was like AFC always said in the chat, it was when we had that substitution with Tony came on, he made all the difference, I think.
But even if I take it back a bit further to that, I mean, I'm going to bring in James off the back of what I'm saying. England win a free kick. Even it didn't even cut to the camera shot. They almost missed it. What is Walker doing? Like, he's passing the ball to John Stones. Is not even looking. Pickford's off his line by 10, 15 yards. If that goes 2-0, it's done. It's absolutely done. And what would have made me even more angry? I mean, we made the first sub on, I think, 65 minutes. And actually, if I'm going to be honest, Trippier only came off because he was injured. So it makes you think, even Lee Dixon was saying, I was thinking, oh, like, even the way the subs are warming up, they're not coming on. Gary Neville called it. This has got to change, man. You've got 45 minutes to save your job and to save, Iceland Vibes Part 2. I mean, even like I said, the Walker playing a free kick to your teammate who's not even looking in the same direction. To me, it was it even better? I mean, not really, no. If I'm going to be honest with you, because there's 1-0 down. Yes, they had more possession of the ball, but they did in the first half with 70% possession and no shots on target. So, James, sort of coming to you, man. Like, first sub comes on after 65 minutes, Trippier coming off and Cole Palmer comes on. At that point, was you like, okay, cool, we brought on Cole Palmer, but was you not expecting 2 substitutions or maybe even 3?
Oh, I was expecting him before then, like you said.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to do stuff even quicker. But yeah, I mean, Palmer, obviously, people have cried out for him all tournament. People have been wanting to see him and everything else. And again, a lot of people said, oh, yeah, he ended up doing anything. I will say that what he tried to do was take risks, which is something that obviously none of the other players were trying to do, especially out wide, like you've said, all tournament. And it just didn't pay off for him. But yeah, I was expecting at least 2 subs, Albert, and he's gone now. He's had enough. But
you don't want to relive it.
Yeah, no. One thing I'll say as well is that we were pinging these long balls, Hollie, and that to me, I think to myself, that has to be coached. That has to be, because they're pinging these long balls to Trippier and Foden on the wings. And basically, you've got 3 bouncers.
Yeah.
So you knew that they were never going to win that. But I'm like, why is Stones, who all of us can say is arguably the best on the ball sort of centre-back that England's had for a long, long time, so he's not thick. And I'm like, why are you continuously, like, you play with Foden on a weekly basis. And so you know he's never going to win in the air against them 3. Harry Kane at times yesterday was playing right next to Declan Rice but I'm like, well, you've got to probably because he was getting so frustrated at the lack of service. But I'm like, you're the only one who can hold the ball up, mate. So if you're coming in here, if you win it and then you're passing to somebody, when they've gotten the advantage to cross in, who they're going to cross to? Because he's not going to make that distance up now. No. Harry Kane's never been, I wouldn't say he's slow, but he's never been world renowned for being quick. So I'm like, you're not going to make that distance back up again. I mean, it baffles me that he's got Foden and Saka, who are so much better than what they used to be. Yet he looked better when he had Sterling and Rashford, who are 2 players that haven't even made the squad.
Yeah, well said. No, it's true. It's true. Hollie, you can swap me around if you want, if you're a bit uncomfortable with it. There you go. Good, Hollie. All the listeners, if you're thinking what's going on, Hollie's put herself on the right side of the screen and moved me to the right side of the screen. So it's just beautiful symmetry, to be honest with you. Now, big up to you, James. And obviously, I think, you know what? When I do watch-alongs, for Arsenal, obviously I get worked up because it's my club, innit? But England just does something to me. I'm probably glad I didn't do any watch-alongs. I don't think I will do any of this tournament anyway, because I can't. I generally don't think I can take it anymore watching them. It was torture. I'm thinking to myself, you made 1 sub. Okay, Palmer's making an impact. Mainu's probably run himself into ground. He's done well. He's done really well, actually. Guys only 19, I think. Could be Mainu. I'm thinking you've got to bring Gordon on or Eze. You've got to do something different, or bring Watkins or Tony on. You have utilized your bench. You keep talking about the depth of the squad. Why are you not using them? You're going at the tournament. I mean, and obviously, Declan Rice hits the post. Harry Kane is a tiny bit behind that cross from, I think it was it Saka? Or I think it might have been Trippier, actually. I'm not too sure. He's had the header, that's gone wide. And then I'm just thinking, in my head at the time, I've got to be honest with you, Hollie and James, I was thinking, I remember Iceland. I remember the World Cup in 2014. I know what Ollie Holt's thinking, and Miguel Delaney and Darren Lewis. I know what's coming in the aftermath and on Paper Talk on Sky. You know what's coming. You know what's happening. Even YouTube content creators, you know what's coming. England are going home. And then Hollie, coming to you quickly, we get a moments of, let's just say what it is, man. World-class brilliance from the main man. Flick on from Gay. Absolute pandemonium, man. I swear to God, I think the neighbors were going to call the police on me, I'll be honest with the noise I was making. But yeah, Jude, he didn't have a great game. He did try. He was trying to cover ground. He's trying to press, but it's moments like that, I guess, really that separate someone being a good player to producing world-class moments. Hollie, did you manage to keep the bar in one piece at that point?
No. I was going nuts. I think I was watching Jay pacing up and down for like 90 minutes. And then as soon as that happened, he picked his chair up. I said, Jay, chill out, put the chair down. So no, I think it was just like you said, the fact that, okay, he did have a great game, but when we need big moments, big players step up. And the finish as well, the way he scored it, it's just like written in the stars. And I just like the bit afterwards, like the press conference, he was like, who writes your scripts? And he says, me. I was like, that is cold.
Yeah, class. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. And yeah, listen, then obviously he's made a few subs in between that before we got the guys bought on Tony. I think he bought on Eze. He bought on Eze, then he bought on Tony. I was actually, James, I was quite surprised when Southgate revealed that about what Tony he said Tony was disgusted, bringing it. I would be. You're bringing him on with a minute and a half to go. What the bloody hell do you want him to do? Sorry for swearing if it was Hollie, if you get demonetized, I apologize. But yeah, I was surprised he mentioned that. But yeah, listen, people talk about impact subs, right? I thought when Tony came, I thought he's brilliant. I thought he's absolutely brilliant and what England needed. He should have come on earlier. Tell us your thoughts, man.
Well, dare I say it? I think even Ivan Toney could have bet that he'd have done that, could he? Is that too old of a joke now to make, or is that?
You bloody said it now, so it's all right.
Yeah, no, it was an amazing cameo. I mean, it echoed what everyone at home was saying and what Twitter was saying. I was sat there going, well, what's he going to do in a minute? And then he looks like a bloody genius in the end, didn't he, Southgate? I mean, if he sat there and went, oh, I knew he was going to do that, we know he's a liar. But yeah, when stuff like that happens, you do, you do look like a clever person. So back in, and I'm glad it happened. And it's just funny, Albert, because again, all goes back to style and how we play and everything. And it was so funny the minute that we go 4-4-2, get it in the mixer, get it in the mix. That's when we start to. I'm like, yeah, okay. If we can't do fancy stuff, go long ball. Who cares? I mean, people
James, like tactically, I mean, it ended at one point we had Eze at left wing back. Saka played in 3 different positions in the entire match, which is, listen, applaud to him. Me and Hollie had a little bit of a back and forth about Saka, that happens. But I said, look, the guy, one thing about Saka, we can talk about the attacking element. He knows that he does put a shift in. This guy knows how to do his defensive duties. And the fact that he got put at left back and then right wing back, then we're playing 3 centre back. Declan Rice is now the pivot. I'm like, what's going on? And then somehow, coming back to James again, England on the brink of going out. We make it 1-1, 2 minutes into extra time, and this man decides to arrive and turn up. Absolute football is nuts, mate. Come in.
Yeah, no, you've summed it up. It's absolutely crazy. But I thought after Bellingham did what he did, that we were going to win it anyway. I actually said to somebody on text, I thought this will go to penalties and we'll win it on pens. But I was even more happy that obviously it happened that way. But I just think a lot of people get obsessed, obviously, with all this talent, with the style of how they play, Albert. And Hollie, you can come in as well. But Albert, I know obviously we've got the age advantage here, so apologies. But I've never, the last time I could sit here and say to you, Albert, I watched England and genuinely found them entertaining.
Yeah, well said.
Was 2004 Euros. And then before that, for me, it was very, I was only about 5 or so, but Euro 96, obviously that's behind me. And the groups and everything of 98. I thought 98, especially with how Owen at the age that he was, Shearer and all that, I thought we played really well in that
tactically,
group.
We had a manager. I know he got sacked for different, but tactically we had a manager that with Hoddle. He would have took us on. But now James, you make a good point. It's Hollie, I'll bring you in because the thing is, James is right, because I mean, everybody knows how old I am, whether it's on Hollie's Hotspurs or AlbertJTV. But I've seen a lot of England, and James is right. Euro 96, some of the football's amazing, and the way they tore apart that Dutch side, and that Dutch side, that Dennis Bergkamp, and the De Boer twins, that they and Kluivert and Seedorf, that's not
Keep
a pub
going.
team.
Keep going. Even more. Reisiger.
Van der
Sar.
Bogart, that's a serious side, man. England tore them to pieces, and they played some good football in that tournament. James mentioned 2004. I think that was more for me the Rooney effect, and because Ericsson, God bless him, the football. I find it tedious watching England when he was the manager personally. But Hollie, it's a tough one because I'm conscious of time as well. I look at the last 2 winners of the Euros, right? To be fair, Italy, the football wasn't turgid. It was when Portugal won it. I know they got some good players, but some of the football, it was dreadful to watch. I mean, I even go back to when Greece won it in 2004. There's a very system-based team who didn't have world-class players, but they bought into it and they were very functional. I'm not sure England can play that way and win the tournament. I just don't think they can. Because in one, I don't think they can personally, just looking at the makeup of the side. And two, they've got better players to play that way to try and win the tournament. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think we all know that the system isn't really working. I mean, we know that he's playing players that aren't in a natural position, which isn't a good thing to start with. But I think you're right. I think with the crop of players that we've got, with the names on the team sheet and the style we're playing, it just doesn't work. And I think he has to come to realise that sometimes you can't play Foden, you can't play Jude, you can't play Kane all in this same team because they're too alike and they cover the same spaces. And then we're screwed when A, we try and attack because we're all occupying the same space, or B, when we're trying to defend, we're all over the gaff. And I think the sooner he realises that, sooner the better. But yeah, I think I was born a little bit too late to watch all of the good football. And in 2004, I don't think I even knew what football was. So I think I missed out on that. But no, I think you're right. I think with England, we're not really normally, I don't want to class it as a sexy football team, but I don't think we are, even if we have good players at the moment that have that ability to be sexy. It's just not working in the system.
But that's the argument, and I think, Albert, you made the point a minute ago, and that's what I was trying to convey to people earlier when we were all talking about it at work today. I was just like, I was like, if England won it, would you care? And some of them were like, oh, yeah, no, I don't want to win it. That I was like, what are you talking about? I said, if we win the next couple of games with goals that go in off someone who's standing there and it goes in off his bum or whatever, I couldn't care less. If we win it, I couldn't care how we've won it. We've won it.
James, you're right. I made the point.
Like you said, Portugal did not
that
care
in 2016.
at all.
God, that was dreadful. Some of their football, but they still they beat the home nation in the final.
Yeah, and again, you talking about caliber of player. That what Silva, Ronaldo, you got names in there.
Yeah,
so
there's some good players, man.
Yeah.
But no, before we wrap up, people, big up to people who are watching live on the Twitter feed and obviously on YouTube when you watch it back or you're watching it now. Smash the like button for both channels. But as I like to say, and Hollie knows what's coming, if you don't know what to do by now, people, this is what you should do. And there you have it, people. Funky little 6-second intro into subscribe to AlbertJTV and Hollie Hotspurs. And also follow James on his Twitter handle. And he has YouTube channels also. People, please go and subscribe. So to wrap up, people, we haven't got long left because I want to watch the football and eat some food. England have Switzerland on next Saturday at 5 o'clock. I asked myself the question, am I concerned? Yes. Are we playing a better caliber of team than we've played in the tournament so far? 100 million%. Seen a bit of Switzerland this tournament. Well, James, to be honest, mate, they've been a good side for a number of years. I'm going way back when Hodgson got them into the last 16 in the World Cup in 94. That's how old I am. So they're a very good side. Murat Yakin, good manager, man. Wily old operator, man. I'm gonna leave Hollie last, actually. But James, what's your thoughts, man? I think England could be in trouble if they play the way they played in the tournament so far. They are coming home. That sounds really negative, but if you watch football outside of watching England this tournament, trust me, they have to be better tenfold come Saturday. What's your thoughts, man?
Oh, 100% agree. I mean, before the last Euros, I remember we did the predictions and everything, didn't we, all together? And I said to you that Switzerland were my dark horses. I thought they looked really, really impressive in that qualifying for that Euros. And they've just even got better. And they've got players, Albert, that I had about 10 or so years ago on FIFA in my career modes. And they were beasts. But yet now they're better. Ricardo Rodriguez is amazing. I'm like, where's this guy? This guy's vanished. Come back. I'm like, Mbolo looks like he's FIFA 13 Mbolo. He's not the one that's in the game now. And I mean, they decimated the Italians at the weekend.
Yeah.
A lot of people were talked about how bad the Italians were. And I was like, no, big up the Swiss. Big up the Swiss. I said they schooled them. And like we said earlier about how Slovakia were like, give England the ball because we'll just get them on the... They will slap us on the cat because they can finish. The only reason Slovakia didn't get them 2 goals was they had no one that could tuck. Switzerland have got people that could put the ball in the net.
That goal by Vargas. Woo.
Yeah, exactly. Hey. Exactly. They're a frightening prospect. And I mean, we've got no Guehi now, who before the game yesterday was arguably our best player.
That ref was nuts, James. He booked 2 England players in the first 4 minutes.
Yeah, he was moving mad. So that's obviously Dunk's probably going to come in there. But then again, you look at everything else. There's still this about Bellingham and that hand gesture. I won't recreate it because I don't want you both to be platformed. And I reckon he will get banned for that because they're looking at stuff to do to England always get punished some way.
100%. Of course, they're looking to do that, James. 100%.
So if he's out, I think to myself, either you stick. I
think Konza will come in.
Possibly, but I think to myself, are you going to stick with this 4-3-3, or are you going to go with the 3-5-2? Yeah. Because I'm like, if Bellingham is gone, then you move Foden from out wide and stick him in at the 10. Keep Mainu and Rice as your 2 in the middle, and then either do Tony and Kane together or something. I'd adjust. And people go, oh, that's really negative to play 3 at the back against the Swiss. Or whatever. I'm like, no, it's not. It's clever.
Yeah.
It's clever. I'm like, just get, like I said earlier, I don't care how we win, just get through.
No, James, good points, man. Because it's this, what's happened this tournament, which I'm glad to see the light up because I backed Austria to do well in 2016 is bloody dreadful. But the team like the Georgians have been excellent. Romania very set up very, very well. Like the team, the outsiders have come to the fore in this tournament, man, 100%. So that's what concerns you. But Switzerland have been a top side for a number of years, man, and they got some good players. And I just think tactically, I just don't think Southgate has it in him, and I don't know what he's going to do come Saturday. He's got things to work with there, Hollie, to make some changes, adjustments to this side because he's going to have to. Obviously, Mark Gay is missing, and we're going to see what happens with Jude in the next 24 hours, 48 hours, whatever it is. But what's your feelings about Saturday?
I mean, it's probably going to sound really backwards, but we saw when he was forced to make a change, things started to change. So maybe it will be a blessing in disguise to be a little bit positive on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, blow if we lose Bellingham just because of the moment in magic he did in the last game and what we know he can do. But again, that might force him to have to play Foden in the middle, and that's what we've been screaming out for. We can't play both of them at the same time at times if we're going to formation that he wants to stick with. But yeah, I'd like to sit here and say adapt, but again, I don't think he's got it in him either.
Then the thing is, it's tough, isn't it? Because like they said, I think Keane was saying with top managers, you have to take risks, man. As good as coaches you are, and as good at setting up teams, and if you've got people in your team squad that can cause damage, you have to let them on the. We're in the quarterfinals, Hollie and Jay. Like I don't know what are you waiting for. We was almost on the Hollie. We should have gone to Gatwick just the evening, the way things were going, but or whatever terminals they're going to end up at Heathrow. I don't really know, but he has to come out. I know he's a defensive. He was a defender as a player, and I mentioned last time the defensive mindset, but you've got to do something, man. Because listen, they're a good side, and this could be ugly if England don't get it right. You need a bit of luck in tournaments, of course you do, but. Yeah, I must admit, I'm quite concerned going into that game against Switzerland. I mean, rewatch the Scotland game if you want to see how they played against. They play well against Switzerland, but listen, England got better players. But I guess time will tell. But people, we are done for the match review. Show 5, Hollie. We definitely got a show 6, man. We're rappers, man. We might even get a show 7. Who knows? But James, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart and Hollie's heart for joining us for your fantastic views, man. There was a lot to talk about. We've packed in 36 minutes. Tell the people where they can find you, my friend.
Yeah, it's all there, isn't it? At Call James 91. If you didn't find me boring and you want to read it instead of listen to it, it's all there. It's all there.
James, an absolute pleasure. And Hollie, like I said, we've got another show, definitely. We have got one involving England anyway after tonight's one. So thankful. Hollie, I don't need to tell them where they can find you because we know where we can find you. But so people, like I said, obliterate the like button for AlbertJTV and Hollie's Hotspurs. We're going live on both channels. And I will put this out on the audio at some point today after watching football, eating food, and just trying to relax after yesterday and obviously work today. But people, lots of people in the chat as well. And when I can find the outro, that will help. It's right there. So people who are out, England are into the quarterfinals. We will see you for the match review. Look out for the socials and we'll broadcast that as it will be. But people, we'll see you soon. England in the quarterfinals, people. See you soon.